Hey everyone, it's Justin with another Bitcoin Minute. Today's date is March 3rd, 2014, and this is going to be kind of a special video. I'm not going to really post this or promote it on Reddit or anything, but I'm going to answer some questions and comments I've had recently, and I'm kind of excited. I'm going to try to make this short, but really get down into the nitty-gritty of stuff. So, okay, first of all, my disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor. Invest at your own risk, and these are just my opinions and what I am doing, and some thoughts on things that I see. So unfortunately, living in America in this day and age, I have to say such things, so there you go. Okay, first, Luke Bailey, and a good friend of mine, says he asked me basically about my strategy for Bitcoin. Am I withdrawing or do I let it sit? He says, is waiting to get to $1,000 too long to wait and let it sit and then withdraw? Or do you keep it in for the long haul, he says. So I'm just going to share what I do with Bitcoin. And my strategy is this. I separate my investments into two camps. So I'm going to talk about the depositing and then the withdrawing. So for depositing, I've got two different camps. One is a long-term camp in which I've got a certain amount of money that purchases Bitcoin every 2 weeks, and that happens no matter what, whether it's up or down. And the reason for that is because I really believe in the strength of Bitcoin, and I think that long-term it's going to be a great investment. So that's why I'm doing that. The second camp is basically day trading. I'll buy something when I hear bad press, and usually in about 24 hours it's already recovered, and I have sold at a profit frequently doing that as well. So those are my two camps for depositing and starting to withdraw with day trading. The other thing that I do with, not necessarily with withdrawing, but I think it's extremely important to actually spend Bitcoin, and I can't emphasize that enough. Bitcoin will be worth a tremendous amount of money if people actually spend it and it becomes utilized as a currency and not just a speculative vehicle. And so I try to, whenever I can, if I find a business that, if you have a weekend free and there's a business in town, or you want to have a fun date with your girlfriend or wife or boyfriend or whatever, it's a fun thing to find people that are accepting Bitcoin, and just, even if you don't have the Bitcoin yet, purchase some. I purchase some and then automatically spend them right away. That way there's no exchange rate issues, there's none of those kinds of problems, and it's a real fun way to to support the economy. Okay, so that's that. I hope, Luke, that helps a little bit. That's what I'm doing, and my thoughts on that. Bitcoin Odyssey, you and I don't always see eye to eye, but I did want to touch a little bit on this because I really appreciate your comments. You said Mt. Gox is not the first and it won't be the last. People are going to lose a lot of coins. I'm a big believer in Bitcoin, and I'm a huge believer in the free market. And I believe that what happened to Mt. Gox last week was a necessary part of growing and developing as a digital currency, a real currency. And when the internet was still fledgling, I was on a large auction site and I got scammed. And there was no recourse, there was no safety nets. And nowadays there's a lot of things, everything from reviews to third-party organizations that kind of ensure transactions. I mean, there's a lot of different things that develop over time as the free market finds a way to fill needs and voids. So I want to just say that Gox being gone, I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's a purging, and like when you refine gold, you heat it up and the crap floats to the surface and you skim it off and you get rid of it. And that's kind of what's happened with Gox. So, and Eve Rodriguez, thank you, by the way. I love it that you like the videos. And you mentioned about how the Federal Reserve, which this did shock me, I'll be honest about that. Janet Yellen said the Federal Reserve has no authority to regulate Bitcoin. And if they wanted to, they could have done so. I mean, they have enough power to where they could have said, we're going to regulate this, and the politicians would have followed suit. In fact, one politician, a Democrat, was asking them to regulate it. That's why they were responding. And you know, it's not to say that in the future as Bitcoin grows, it won't take another stab at it or whatever. One major point that needs to be said, though, is that this is the Fed Reserve, which is not a federal institution. It's a private bank. It's the biggest Ponzi scheme in history. And so the federal government has yet to really start regulating Bitcoin or attempting to regulate Bitcoin. And I think we will see that in the future at some point. So anyway, that I think touches on everything I wanted to touch on today. Thanks for the comments and the questions. And if you have any more, feel free to send them to me, Justin at betteroffbitcoin.com, or just put them in the comments. I read through the comments on YouTube and on the website. And I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.